And there goes the Rocket. Any true baseball fan would remember how the talented Roger Clemens totally embodied his nickname. He dominated baseball for years, intimidating hitters with his blazing fastball and accumulating amazing numbers wherever he went. But then this rocket ship came back down to earth. He found himself ensnared in the key controversy of his era in Major League Baseball, PED use. But was this true? Was this dominant athlete a legend for the ages, or did he cheat his way through years of baseball brilliance? We'll answer all of these questions as we explore the controversial career of Roger Clemens. Clemens hails from Dayton, Ohio, and was born into the family of Bill and Bess Clemens as their fifth child. His parents split when he was just an infant, leading his mother to wed Woody Booher, who would go on to become the father figure he cherished. But then, tragedy struck at 9 when Booher passed away. Clemens grew up in Vandalia, Ohio, until 1977, when he then shifted to Houston, Texas, for most of his high school tenure. At Springwoods High School, he showcased his athleticism in baseball under the guidance of Coach Charles Majorana, doubling up with stints in football and basketball. But despite catching the eyes of the Philadelphia Phillies and Minnesota Twins scouts during his senior year, Clemens opted for college. The young Rocket went to San Jacinto College North in 1981, where he crafted a noteworthy 9-2 win-loss record. His next stop was the University of Texas at Austin, where he left an indelible mark with a stellar 25-7 record across 2 All-American seasons. But the pinnacle came in 1983, when Clemens stood on the mound, contributing to the Longhorns' victory in the College World Series. In tribute to his excellence, for the first time in the history of the program, the University of Texas retired his uniform number. The college accolades would continue for Clemens long after his college career. In 2004, the Rotary Smith Award, which was an honor reserved for the best college pitcher, was renamed the Roger Clemens Award. This honor highlighted the impact Roger Clemens' career had on college baseball. The New York Mets tried to grab Clemens in the 12th round of the 1981 Major League Baseball draft, but he passed on signing with them. Instead, the Boston Red Sox snagged him in the first round, 19th overall of the 1983 draft, propelling him through the minor league ranks. Clemens showcased his prowess in 1983, pitching for both the Single-A Winter Haven Red Sox and the Double-A New Britain Red Sox, rapidly progressing through the Red Sox minor league system. Transitioning to the 1984 season with the Triple-A Pawtucket Red Sox, Clemens displayed resilience and skill, starting 6 games with 3 complete games and 1 shutout. His debut in the major leagues on May 15, 1984 was remarkable. However, he would soon suffer an undiagnosed torn labrum that threatened his career but was thankfully treated by Dr. James Andrews. Clemens had a relatively quiet but steady season in 1985. This would prove to be the season where the Rocket was sitting on the launch pad waiting to blast off. As the 1986 season approached, Clemens was ready to launch into the stratosphere. Clemens' 1986 got off to a dramatic start. On April 29, 1986 at Fenway Park, Clemens struck out a record-breaking 20 batters in a single game against the Seattle Mariners. This feat brought a lot of goodwill and attention, earning him the cover of Sports Illustrated magazine and solidifying his status as the Lord of the K's. This season of dominance continued, and in 1986 he won the AL MVP and Cy Young Award, boasting a 24-4 record, 2.48 ERA, and 238 strikeouts. Despite this success, though, the 1986 World Series ended in heartbreak for the Boston Red Sox, as they lost in dramatic fashion to the New York Mets. A key issue in that series involved Clemens. Although Clemens was initially dominating in Game 6, he was controversially pulled, and the Mets won that crucial game in the series. Moving forward, this superstar player continued to make history with the Red Sox, clinching back-to-back Cy Young Awards in 1986 and 1987. He led the AL in strikeouts and shutouts in 1988, and in 1991 he secured his 3rd Cy Young Award. However, despite his remarkable contributions, the Red Sox did not re-sign him after the 1996 season due to declining production. This led him to join the Toronto Blue Jays. His departure marked the end of an era at the franchise, with no player wearing his number 21 uniform since the 1996-97 offseason for the Boston Red Sox. He signed a 4-year, $40 million deal with the Toronto Blue Jays after the 1996 season. No doubt, his return to Fenway Park as a Blue Jays pitcher was spectacular. Every batter who came up against him got what was coming, and before you could say Rocket, he was already on 16 strikeouts. Now, would you label a pitcher washed up if he had led the league in strikeouts the previous season? Because that's exactly what Clemens accomplished in 1996. With 257 strikeouts that year, he not only topped the league, but also secured other impressive rankings, including 7th in ERA, 7th in WHIP, 5th in innings pitched, and the 3rd lowest home run rate. For those inclined towards sabermetrics, his 7.4 WAR placed him 2nd among AL pitchers, and his adjusted pitching stats consistently rated him as one of the top 5 starters in the league. No doubt about it, if such a performance had happened during the free agency frenzy of 2012, the only question would have been about how many years he could secure on a lucrative 8-figure contract. However, the narrative in 1996 was overshadowed by a seemingly lackluster 10-13 win-loss record. Candidly, this was a misleading statistic, primarily reflecting the meager offensive support he received, because despite the offense averaging 5.7 runs per game, they managed only 4.3 when he was on the mound. Plus, this marked the 3rd time in 4 seasons that Clemens faced substandard run support. Coupled with the impact of the 1994-95 strike, these all contributed to 4 years of depressed win totals for the legendary pitcher. During his 2 seasons with the Blue Jays, Clemens rebounded and won the pitching Triple Crown and consecutive Cy Young awards. And despite his formidable performance, he wanted a trade after the 1998 season, driven by the desire to compete for a championship. In 1999, the Yankees traded for Clemens. This marked the beginning of his successful run in the Bronx. Despite a lower level of statistical production in his first 2 years with the team, he contributed to crucial postseason wins, notably in the 1999 ALCS and the 2000 World Series against the New York Mets. The year 2001 marked another milestone for Clemens, as he became the first pitcher in Major League Baseball history to start a season 20-1 and secure his 6th Cy Young Award. But despite this personal achievement, the Yankees fell short in the 2001 World Series against the Arizona Diamondbacks. In 2003, Clemens initially announced his retirement, but the season would go on to turn into a series of remarkable farewells. On June 13, 2003, against the St. Louis Cardinals, he recorded his 300th career win and 4,000th career strikeout in the same game. Rocket finished the season with a 17-9 record and a 3.91 ERA. Despite the strong rivalry with the Red Sox, he received a standing ovation at Fenway Park on his last game. He also made a memorable start in the World Series against the Florida Marlins, leaving the field to a standing ovation from both fans and opponents. Obviously, Clemens couldn't resist the call of the game for long, as he came out of retirement for the Houston Astros in 2004, signing a 1-year deal on January 12th. And as you'd expect, his return was marked by an outstanding season, finishing with an 18-4 record and earning his 7th Cy Young Award at the age of 42. But despite his success, the Astros fell short in Game 7 of the 2004 NLCS against the St. Louis Cardinals. His decision to delay retirement persisted into the 2005 season, with the Astros and Clemens agreeing on a 1-year, $18 million contract. Surprisingly, at his advanced age, he posted a career-low 1.87 ERA that year, although run support limited his win total. That season also included an emotional victory following his mother's death and his 4,500th career strikeout. In the postseason, he made a relief appearance in the 18-inning Game 4 of the NLDS against the Atlanta Braves. The Astros reached the 2005 World Series, but Clemens battled a hamstring injury and couldn't perform. This injury, along with other issues, contributed to the team's eventual sweep by the Chicago White Sox. Again, while initially announcing retirement after the 2005 World Series, Clemens still couldn't resist the opportunity to represent the United States in the World Baseball Classic. And after a successful stint there, speculation became reality as he returned to the Houston Astros in 2006, signing a pro-rated contract worth $22 million. Clemens resumed pitching on June 22nd and went on to finish the season with a 7-6 record and a 2.30 ERA. Another unexpected twist of Clemens' career unfolded again in 2007 when he joined the New York Yankees. During that season, he would go on to secure his 350th win against the Minnesota Twins on July 2nd, after making a grand return on June 9th. Indeed, this baseball legend left a lasting mark, pitching his final regular season appearance at Fenway Park, where it all began. The 2007 season ended with a mediocre 6-6 record and a 4.18 ERA, and his playoff journey was cut short due to a hamstring injury in Game 3 of the 2007 ALDS against the Cleveland Indians. In all, Clemens' postseason legacy with the Yankees boasted a 7-4 record, a 2.97 ERA, and memorable contributions to October baseball. A truly amazing career, wouldn't you agree? Well, not to some people. Especially when you consider that despite such great numbers and records, Clemens never made it into the Hall of Fame. Indeed, it's as surprising as it is unbelievable, but it's true, and here's why. The truth is that, in the baseball world, dealing with players who were accused but not proven guilty of using performance-enhancing drugs poses a significant challenge. This scenario has played out several times with a number of different players. In Clemens' case, it seemed that by the end of his run with the Red Sox, he seemed to be running low on fuel, and his illustrious career was on a downward trajectory. Then, almost miraculously, Clemens immediately transformed back into a 20-game winner, securing 2 additional Cy Young awards. Eyebrows were raised at this point, and whispers started about his performance. Impressive stats after an extended period of lower performance, along with dominant performances well into his 40s, began a narrative of potential PED use. This, coupled with compelling evidence, included testimony from his trainer and fellow players, have essentially sealed his fate in the eyes of the public. Plus, let's not forget the discarded needles with traces of Clemens' DNA mixed with steroids that were also discovered. At this point, many fans believed that his prolonged success in the game was linked to alleged steroid use, and it was also suspected that human growth hormone, HGH, played a massive role in ensuring his late career resurgence. But here's the twist. Clemens' impressive 1997 season occurred before any accusations of performance-enhancing drug use. In fact, Jose Canseco, who was the initial accuser, traced Clemens' alleged steroid use back to a pool party in June 1998. This also aligns with the claims of Brian McNamee, who asserted that 1998 marked the first year he injected Clemens with steroids. Additionally, Clemens only hired McNamee as his strength coach in 1998. In 2006, a 20-page search warrant affidavit signed by Special Agent Jeff Nowitzki would also soon surface, and it detailed former Major League pitcher Jason Grimsley's claims about obtaining amphetamines, anabolic steroids, and human growth hormone from a source recommended by McNamee. Clemens, along with 4 other prominent players, were reported in the Los Angeles Times as names connected to the investigation. However, this was later disputed by the U.S. attorney working on the case as containing significant inaccuracies. Moreover, Clemens' name appeared prominently in the Mitchell Report on steroid use in baseball. In this report, McNamee stated clearly that he injected Clemens with Winstrol during the 1998, 2000, and 2001 seasons. The accumulation of all these accusations and reports continued to build the drug case and controversies around the Rocket. As a result of the Mitchell Report, Clemens was faced with some severe repercussions, including being asked to end his involvement with a charity tournament and having his name removed from the Roger Clemens Institute for Sports Medicine in Houston. By January 2008, Clemens addressed the allegations, refuting all the claims against him and attributing his baseball longevity to hard work rather than illegal substances. The player also denied all of McNamee's assertions about steroid injections. Plus, he would go on to file a defamation lawsuit against McNamee, claiming that the former trainer lied after being threatened with prosecution. During a congressional hearing on February 13, 2008, Clemens swore under oath that he never took steroids, discussed HGH with McNamee at any time, attended a party at Jose Canseco's place where steroids were discussed, or told Andy Pettit he had taken HGH. In response to this, the bipartisan House Committee recommended a Justice Department investigation into whether the embattled sportsman lied under oath, especially as they found several apparent inconsistencies in his testimony. A federal grand jury was convened in January 2009 to investigate possible perjury charges. And on August 19, 2010, Clemens was indicted on charges of making false statements to Congress, including obstruction of Congress, making false statements, and perjury. His first trial began on July 13, 2011, but it ended in a mistrial due to prosecutorial misconduct. And luckily for Rocket, he was found not guilty on all 6 counts of lying to Congress when the retrial commenced on June 18, 2012. Sadly, though, the damage was done at this point. His reputation was in tatters, and he would go on to fall short of Hall of Fame election a few years later. Moreover, similar to Barry Bonds, some fans still hold strong beliefs that Roger Clemens was involved in steroids and HGH use during his playing days.